We are seeing absolute insanity across all the metrics of the internet computer ecosystem, from new applications arriving on scene to absolutely gross meme coin pumps and eye-popping growth, like Dominic Williams says. Internet Computer is currently doing 1.5 million ETH equivalent transactions a second, measured as virtual machine instructions executed. That's big deal right there. And we're currently seeing crazy numbers across the board on the internet computer when it comes to the deployment of smart contracts, the amount of transactions per second that are happening, and the cycle burn rate, folks. This is insane. I think that the best is yet to come for internet computer, especially given the fact that they have now connected all of these ecosystems and chains together, and they can harness the power of the internet computer and continue to serve their unique communities across the board. One unique application that's coming to the internet computer is called KongSwap, folks. I want you guys to follow these guys on X. I'm currently an advisor for KongSwap, and I do think that this is going to help change the game when it comes to swapping tokens on the internet computer. If you've been around, there's plenty of applications out there that allow you to swap tokens and things like that. Half the time the transactions are failing. Half the time they're just clunky and don't work. I'm not going to name names, but we are going to go ahead here and testnet the KongSwap application. We're going to convert 69.420 chain key USDT to chain key USDC. And here we go. We'll swap it. We'll confirm the swap in the wallet, and you can see how easy this is going to be. So we are going to get a very nice jingle here. And it's as easy as that, folks. So with that said, this was a successful swap. We're hoping to reduce the amount of clunkiness that's currently out there. Internet computers down 0.5% on the day, almost 9% on the week, still up 10% on the month and 170% on the year. And we're going to get into EXE and Bob token here in just a moment. But I do think that we might be shaking out to see the internet computer pull off what I call a Fibonacci sliver by default. When we throw up a Fibonacci channel like so, and price starts moving sideways into the lowest part, the lowest trend line of the Fibonacci channel, it basically forces price to make a move, up or down, obviously. However, when we start to see price set up inside a familiar pattern like an ascending triangle or something of that nature, it gives us confidence that we might be gearing up to see price kind of move to the upside. So what I'm hoping happens here with ICP is something like this. And you can see the ascending triangle that would be then formed. I do think that right now ICP is potentially going to rip back up to like the $10.80-ish level rather sooner than later. I do think that there might be a little pump right before the November elections, to say the least. We'll get back into ICP in just a second, but this is why you guys need to follow me on X at Real6Fig. A couple days ago, I dropped some alpha saying both EXE and Bob have formed falling wedge patterns. And here's the Bob chart. Here was the EXE chart. A couple hours later, I go on to tell everybody, hey, guess what? Bob ended up pumping 73% because we caught the alpha early. I made some money on this and I took profits. But when it comes down to it, EXE, we're still seeing EXE in this great falling wedge pattern. We're seeing Bob really kind of get beaten down here. It had this incredible pump all the way up to $3 back on September 10th, and it's kind of been in the dumps ever since then. But it is still nonetheless holding on for dear life to this falling wedge that I pointed out a few days back. So with that said, I do think that Bob still has a shot at making a comeback here as long as this bottom doesn't absolutely fall off. Currently, it's trading at 39 cents. So this thing has had extreme volatility over the last few days. Now, where do I think that ICP has a chance to go this cycle? I do think that we could be gearing up to see at least $60 somewhere in there at the bare minimum. But I do think that we could be gearing up to see ICP maybe run up to about $150 to $160. And I'll make a video on that tomorrow. But I'll give you the short, sweet alpha here. If we just play the devil's advocate that we are going to use Elliott wave theory and try to calculate the next impulse wave. If there is one, by default, it would have to be longer or larger than this span from 0 to 1 from span 2 to 3. So what does this mean? Well, we would need to see span 2 to 3 basically run up to at least $44, $45 somewhere in that neck of the woods to see Elliott wave theory progress. I would hope that this thing would run up to about that $60-ish level before we maybe encountered a nice little retracement to come back up to test this 161.8, somewhere in the $160-ish range, $150-ish range. I do think that it is possible. And at the end screen here, I'll have a little chart or a video for you to watch to explain further what's going on with that. I love you guys all. Don't forget, folks, to check out Blocks. This is a blockchain explorer put on by Blockchain Boy, baby. Now, I've got a few referrals already. If you guys could help me get to 10, that would be great. It's free to sign up.